ranking your site first doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Ranking first literally couldn't matter less. Right? It doesn't matter. Right? When I'm looking at my competition, I don't see and I don't care if they rank above me. All I care for is if I make more money than them. Because what's the point of ranking first if nobody buys? And so in this video, I want to go over the 5 metrics you should not focus on, which most people focus on these metrics, and the metrics instead that you should be focusing on. These 3 metrics, these are the only metrics you should be focusing on in your SEO strategy. The issue is that most people focus on these, okay? So again, point being is that it doesn't matter if you're ranking first. It does not matter. The only thing that matters is, are you making more money, right? Because you can be ranking first for a bunch of keywords that don't give you any value. And by the way, this happened to us. If you go watch this video right here, we got a ton of traffic to this page, but literally nobody bought. I went over to our database, to our backend, and checked every single session, and literally nobody even created an account. You can go watch that after this video. I'll leave a link down below in the description. So first things first is, here's every metric you should not focus on a single bit. First thing, I'm guessing you could guess this one, right, is traffic values. So if you go here to Ahrefs, this number right here, this doesn't matter. This literally doesn't matter, right? Doesn't matter. Going up or down doesn't matter, right? Doesn't matter. Why? Because this is a huge vanity metric, right? We could get a 1 billion in monthly search traffic to our site. But if nobody buys, what's the point? Now, of course, traffic is usually a good indicator. Usually, right, the higher the traffic, right, there's a correlation, right, that tells you, hey, the higher your leads, which can lead to higher sales. However, it is correlation, not causation. Okay, so just because you have higher traffic doesn't mean you're gonna get more leads, and doesn't mean at all that you're gonna get more sales. Okay, because from leads to sales is a whole different, like, it's talking about conversions, and it's a whole different issue which a lot of people also face. Okay, so first things first is traffic. Don't focus on traffic. It is the biggest vanity metric you could be focusing on. Optimizing for traffic doesn't make any sense. You have to optimize for these 3 metrics I'll show you at the end of the video. Okay, that's the very first thing. Second thing you should not focus on is UR and DR. Right? Again, I don't know if you're using Ahrefs or not, but URL rating, DR, domain rating, these are made up by them. And these stem from a metric revealed by Google called PR, page rank, years ago, where Google ranked sites, I think, from 1 to 10, right? And if you were 1, I think that's how I say it, if you were 1, right, you were a very authoritative site, you'd rank first. If you were 10, you were shit. Or maybe the other way around, I don't remember, right? The thing is that Google stopped showing people this metric because people were manipulating it. Okay, and so Google didn't want to reveal this stuff. And so what happened was tools like Ahrefs, Moz, Majestic all came up with their own metrics. Now, the way in which these are calculated, I'm not sure if it's public or not, right? But it's a mix of your traffic, the keywords you rank for, the competition. It's a bunch of like data put into here to crafting these metrics. Now, again, is there a correlation between the higher the DR and the higher you rank? Yes. Usually sites with higher DR tend to rank higher, but not a causation. Just because you have a higher DR doesn't mean you're going to rank first, and it doesn't mean you're going to get more sales, okay? So it's the whole thing again. I'll even draw it again because I think it's super important, right? Just because you have a higher DR, right, it can mean you have higher traffic, right, which can lead to more leads, which can lead to more sales. Now, this is one of the trickiest parts, right? Converting leads into sales. I mean, it's sales, right? It's difficult, right? You know, like convincing someone to buy is difficult. It's not easy, right? But let's focus just on the stuff on the left-hand side. Again, usually higher the DR, higher the site ranks, right? Again, this is all made up, okay? But usually, right, there's a correlation, but it's not a causation. You could have a higher DR than me, but I could be making more money than you. And I could be ranking higher than you, okay? Now, also another issue is this: is that these metrics are easily manipulated. I'll even show you, right? If you go here on Fiverr, you'll see what I mean, right? You can easily pay someone to increase these metrics for you. Just go in and type DR increase, right? There you go, right? I mean, all these guys with $100 can increase your DR by 70 plus, right? These guys will increase all these metrics are easily manipulated with just $20, $50, $100, right? So all this to say that this doesn't really matter, right? Just because you paid someone on Fiverr $20 to increase this to 60 doesn't mean you're rank higher, doesn't mean you're going to rank higher, doesn't mean you're going to get more traffic, and doesn't mean you're going to get more leads, and it doesn't mean at all you're going to get more sales, okay? If with $20 you could instantly get more sales, then we'd all be rich. So just know that these metrics are easily manipulated. Yes, Use them as a rule of thumb, but don't just blindly trust them. Yes, use traffic as a rule of thumb. Don't blindly trust it, okay? Because all this can easily be manipulated. And at the end of the day, none of this matters. The only thing that matters is the money in your bank account, okay? So moving on to the third metric I think you should not be focusing on, which is the backlinks and referring domains, okay? So the number of backlinks you have right here, number of backlinks and number of referring domains. Now, quick parenthesis here. Ideally, you want the closest one-to-one ratio between referring domains and backlinks. What this means is, for example, a referring domain is wikipedia.com, okay? Now, wikipedia.com can have multiple backlinks to your site, right? So you have one referred domain and 4 backlinks. Now, usually when you have a big discrepancy between the number of referring domains and the number of backlinks, it means that there's a couple of referring domains that have hundreds of links to your site. Usually, those tend to be low quality. So that's why a ratio that's not very close to one-to-one means that you could have a sort of a spammy link profile. Ours isn't great. Okay. Now, granted, some people try to negative SEO our site. I mean, that's what you get by building this stuff in public. Now, again, do more backlinks increase or tend to increase your rankings? Yes. Just look at all these case studies. I'll even go here and show you, right? Yes, links work fantastically. It's insane the results we get for our clients. I mean, just go here to case studies. I don't think I shared a lot of the link building case studies here. I do share some, I think. For example, this right here. You go watch this one. Like, we built 29 links. His traffic just skyrocketed. Okay. All these, by the way, all these right here are a combination of link building with content. But links just work. I mean, I can even go here and show you. If I go here to my Arvo account, click on purchase backlinks. And I think this video goes over a bunch of case studies of real people building actually. So backlinks do work to increase your traffic. I mean, they do work. Now, am I saying backlinks are useless? Not at all. What I'm saying is that don't focus on the number of backlinks. Focus on the quality. And even so, right? Even if you have the highest quality backlinks, it's not guaranteed that they're going to rank higher, and it's even less guaranteed that you're going to make more money. Because again, higher backlinks can lead to higher traffic. With higher traffic, it doesn't necessarily lead to more money. Now, again, backlinks do work. I'm a very big proponent of backlinks. I urge everyone to build backlinks. And by the way, you can go watch this video right here that teaches you step by step how I build backlinks. Okay. By the way, the links that I sell here for $1,500 are the exact same links I teach you how to build on this video. So you can either watch the video and do it yourself, or just pay me to do it for you. Just being fully transparent with you. Again, looking at backlinks and referring domains, all of these stuff is vanity metrics. Don't brag about the number of backlinks you have. Brag about the money you're making. Now, yes, do backlinks lead to higher traffic? Yes, they can. Can higher traffic lead to more leads? Yes, it can. Does it every time? No. Okay, so be careful focusing on trying to just increase this number just because. And still on top of that, be careful about increasing the number and not looking at quality, because the ideal backlink is one that's both powerful and relevant. What's power? Metrics. Again, I just told you not to focus on metrics, but use them as a rule of thumb. So you want a backlink from a domain with a high DR, high traffic, okay? High traffic from the US, ideally. That ranks for a bunch of keywords that are not spammy. I mean, I cover all this in the other video, right? And relevancy, right? You want a link from a relevant domain. If your site sells dog collars, right? You want links from blogs and organizations and publications that talk about dogs, right? You don't necessarily want a link from a hair salon, right? Because even though that link is powerful, it's not really relevant. And again, the best backlink you can have is one that's powerful, both powerful and relevant, okay? Then, the fourth metric you should not be spending time on and you should not be focusing on is branded keyword traffic. Now, why do I say this? Well, let's say here, branded, right? We get a couple of traffic for our branded keywords, okay? So we have like 500 in traffic for branded keywords. Now, why is this irrelevant to some extent? Well, it's because when you're dealing with Google, like when you're dealing with search engines, if someone goes on Google, right, and types in on Google search bar your brand name, well, they found you somewhere else, right? They found you on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. I don't know where they found you, but they didn't find you on Google, right? Because if they know about your brand name and they're searching for your brand name on Google, well, surely they found it somewhere else. So looking at branded traffic doesn't matter, right? Because it's not your SEO efforts that are increasing your branded search traffic. It's your social efforts more often than not. That's why, and a bit of a plug here, that's why in this service we have that we guarantee a 25% increase in non-branded search traffic. Non-branded, because that's all that matters, right? I mean, you want people to be searching for keywords and finding your business like that. For example, for our business, right? We want people to be searching for example, AI SEO tool, right? And hey, listen, Arvo ranks first, perfect, right? If people searching for our own brand name, well, they know what we do already. They found us somewhere else, so it's kind of pointless. So doesn't matter. You should not focus on branded keywords. So that's why for this service, and again, I'm not trying to sell you on this, but for this service, we guarantee a 25% increase in non-branded search traffic in 180 days, guaranteed, or you don't pay. And there's a bunch of results right here, because all that matters is your non-branded search traffic. That's all that matters. That's how you capture the new people. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty obvious, right? Not focusing on branded traffic. Again, for a holistic marketing strategy, yes, focus on branded traffic. But just for SEO, your sole focus should be on non-branded search keywords. And hopefully this made sense, and hopefully I made my point across. And finally, the fifth metric you should not be focusing on at all is non-buyer country traffic. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, we all know which countries buy the most. US, highest purchase power in the world, right? Then, I don't know what's the order after, but let's do Canada, UK, Australia, and then Europe. We have Germany, France, etc., Spain possibly, etc. Then we have South Americas, then we have Asia's, and then yeah, basically. So that's at least what we see with our purchases, with our sales. This how the funnel works. US is most, which makes sense, right? We all know about this. And so when you're looking at the traffic and when you're optimizing for traffic, be wary if you're getting too much of non-buying countries traffic. Now, there's not much you can do about this, but try and investigate why you are not ranking, or why most of your traffic isn't coming from the US, because that's a problem, right? Because most of your traffic, I mean, if US is your target market, right? There's a bunch of nuance here. Should be coming from high buying intent, or excuse me, should be coming from high purchase power countries: US, Canada, Australia, Germany, France, and then ideally the least amount of traffic should be coming from Asia's and South America's. Nothing wrong with those countries, but just the reality how business works, right? You want to make money, right? And those countries have low purchasing power. Thus, 1,000 a month in traffic from those countries, right, to equate to making the same money as that same traffic in the US, right, it needs to be much more. So 10 people from the US, right, equate maybe 1,000 from Asia, India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, whatever, because the purchasing power there is lower. Am I saying not to target those countries? No, you should target the whole world. What I'm saying is be wary that US traffic and traffic from countries with high purchase power is way more valuable. And hopefully, I mean, this is kind of obvious, but I just felt like throwing that in there because we've made that mistake in the past. And so now that you know what not to focus on, what should you be focusing on? Well, the first one, I'll start from the bottom because it's the most obvious one, is money. Like money in the bank. This is literally the only thing that matters. You can focus on all these little things, but the only thing that matters at the end of the day is money, because we're all here for money, right? At the end of the day, it's all about the money. Whether you admit it or not, it's always about the money. That's why we work. That's why we do, that's why I'm here seated right now. It's all about the money. We all want to make money, okay? So the biggest metric you should be focusing on is money in the bank. Okay, so none of this right here, none of this BS matters. None of this matters. None of this matters. And we have competitors of ours with higher on all instances, making less money than us. So I don't care for this stuff. I literally don't care for this stuff. I only care for one thing, which is money in the bank. Now, the other two, which again are less important than money in the bank, the first one is number of high buying intent keyword rankings. Now, this is kind of obvious, right? Because again, I mentioned that we want higher traffic, and usually higher traffic leads to more leads, which can lead to higher sales. Now, the way in which you maximize this part of the equation, right? Higher traffic leading to higher, actually, honestly, the whole thing. The way you maximize the output, so the way you maximize, in which you maximize, number of sales, is if the traffic coming in is ready to buy. So you could have like one person visiting your site every single month. But if that person is searching for, I want to buy a $20,000 personal home robot, right? just look at that keyword. The intent is there. They want to buy a product worth $20,000. So they're going to buy it. And I've talked about this extensively. What you do, and I'll give you an example. I mean, why not, right? Let's say I have an iPhone repair shop, right? And people, before coming into my shop, right, they come into my website. And my website could be ranking for keywords like how to repair an iPhone. But it could also be ranking for keywords like where or how much does it cost to repair an iPhone, right? The keyword how, let's say, has 10,000 searches per month. Okay, but some of these two keywords, the where and how much, have only 1,000 searches per month. Okay, that being said, someone searching for where or how much, they're much more willing to buy than someone searching for how. Someone searching for how, most likely they want to do it themselves. Well, someone searching for where or how much, well, most likely they want to pay someone to do it for them. So the buying intent on these keywords is much higher than the buying intent on here. So again, that's another reason why you should not be focusing on traffic. You should be focusing on the buying intent. Okay, again, not to say that you cannot convert someone searching for how. You can have like a blog post or a page on your site that ranks for how to repair an iPhone, right? A beautiful page with, okay, step 1, you open up your phone. Step 2, you do that. Step 3, whatever. And step 5, hey, listen, if you're still here, if you haven't been able to do it, come into our shop, we'll give you 20% discount because you tried, right? You can convert some of these people, right, into buyers, but it's way easier just to go for the high buying intent keywords because these people are ready to buy. Where to buy an iPhone, or where to repair an iPhone. How much does it cost to repair an iPhone? These people are ready to buy, okay? So intent, focusing on high buying intent. And I made a bunch of videos on this. I'll make sure to link them down in the description because there's a bunch more nuance to this. But yeah, it's super important. And then finally, you got to focus on the percentage of traffic coming from those keywords. These two sort of are tied together, right? But the whole point of this is that you want traffic from high buying intent keywords, and you want most of your traffic to come from these high buying intent keywords. And the very first video I mentioned in the beginning of this video, right, I think it's this one right here, we were making that issue. This page was ranking, and we're getting a ton of traffic, but for super top of the funnel, low buying intent stuff. So it doesn't matter, right? Maybe to get one sale, we'd have to get like 10,000 visits to that page, while maybe to get one sale for a page that was ranking for super high buying intent keywords, super bottom of funnel stuff, we just need maybe 1/10 or 1/5 or 1/100th of the traffic to that page. Hopefully this made sense. And so to recap, ranking first doesn't matter, right? Doesn't matter. It only matters for your ego, okay? It only matters for your ego. Because if nobody buys, it's pointless to rank first. And we've felt that in our own skin with the video that I just told you, okay? Optimize for money in the bank. How do you optimize for money in the bank? Well, you optimize for traffic that's qualified. Traffic from high buying intent keywords, okay? That's it. That's the video. And so if you are still here, go watch this video right here. I think it's going to make you understand a lot more of how all this stuff is like interconnected and all the nuances of SEO, because this might seem simple. And honestly, it is simple. Most likely, if you watch till the end, you understood how this works. It's not easy. It is simple, never easy. So go watch this video right here that teaches you all this stuff in a bit more nuanced fashion, which I think is going to be super valuable. So click it, go watch it, and yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.